For the most part of his 9-year career in the NBA, from the Lakers to the Utah Jazz, Jordan Clarkson has been seen wearing Nike shoes, from Kobe's to Kyrie's. Clarkson also rocked the Converse All-Star BB shift in the early months of 2023. Converse, of course, has been part of Nike since 2003. Welcome back, everyone. This is Fresh Pair, and today we'll quickly discuss Jordan Clarkson and Anta. Hit that like button, please subscribe to my channel, and add me on Instagram for updates. That said, let's dive in. With the stage set in Manila for the 2023 FIBA World Cup and with Jordan Clarkson playing for the Philippine team, many sneakerheads did not see what was coming. On August 19, 2023, just 6 days before his first game against the Dominican Republic, Clarkson entered into an agreement with Anta. This came as a surprise to many, but Anta probably had it all planned out ahead of time. For the duration of the FIBA games, Clarkson agreed to wear Anta shoes. For their first game, Clarkson wore the Anta Gordon Hayward 4 or GH4 in the jet black colorway. In their second game against Angola, he rocked the Anta GH4 in the shadow colorway. And on the third game against Italy, Clarkson opted to switch back to the jet black colorway of the GH4. But then something happened along the way. Things took a different turn by games 4 and 5. While Clarkson wore the Anta Gordon Hayward 4 for the first 3 games, he switched back to Nikes by the 4th and 5th games. In Game 4 against South Sudan, Clarkson wore the Nike GT Cut 2 in the Jade Ice colorway, while in the 5th and final game, he rocked the Nike LeBron 20 Mini Planche collab. Why the sudden switch? To the average eye, the return to the swoosh perhaps had something to do with his team's 3-game losing streak wearing the Anta Gordon Hayward 4. Folks say that Anta was bad luck, a curse. Of course, this makes for good table conversations over beer and what have you, but I doubt that this was truly the case. In fact, Clarkson wore the Nike GT Cut 2 in Game 4, which his team also lost, this time to South Sudan. For me, this wasn't simply about a case of superstition. It was, I think, a matter of brand competition apart from the terms of the deal. To be clear, I do not know the exact details of the agreement between Anta and Clarkson, but one of 3 things could have happened. First is that Clarkson opted out of the deal after Game 3. This is assuming that Clarkson had the option to call it a day with Anta, with the corresponding reduction in the money he will get, maybe even having to pay a small penalty. Whatever the case, Clarkson switching back to Nike was a clear sign that he was done with his FIBA deal with Anta, whether by intention or by design. Second is that Nike stepped in and bought Clarkson out of his deal with Anta, realizing that the remaining 2 games would be good marketing strategy. Because if Clarkson's team won at least one of the 2 remaining games, then it has got to be the shoes, as some sneakerheads would say. A win for Clarkson wearing Nikes is a win for Nike as far as publicity goes. It's a tempting scenario that a big brand like Nike can hardly refuse, especially with the world watching. And third is that the press probably got their reports wrong. Instead of wearing Anta shoes throughout the World Cup, it's possible that Clarkson's deal only covered the first 3 games, which were part of the first round. Perhaps the agreement did not initially include the classification stage, which is what comes next. The deal could have been extended to subsequent stages in the tournament depending on certain conditions. Whatever the case may be, this is a classic example of brand competition. With Anta stepping on the gas in recent years in the Asian market, Nike surely had no choice but to take every opportunity it has to maintain its clout. While Clarkson might have ditched Anta at the last minute, it remains to be seen whether we will see him wear Anta sneakers in upcoming NBA games. Reports say that Anta and Clarkson are ironing out the details in a possible long-term contract, and that would be a big deal for the brand. This is because Clarkson is one of the prominent names in the NBA as of the moment, and his popularity as the main man of the Utah Jazz extends all the way to the Philippines and some parts of Asia. In many ways, signing him would improve Anta's market share in the performance basketball industry in Asia. This isn't a distant possibility, especially when you think about the prospect of an Anta Clarkson 1. Of course, not everyone is a fan of this possibility, as brand loyalty and brand blinders are far too common. But for those who want to see something a little different, Jordan Clarkson signing with a brand other than Nike is something to look forward to, as it ushers in another wave of sneaker prospects in Asia. That's it for today's discussion. Tell me what you think in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to my channel for more. This is Fresh Pair. Peace and love to the fellow underdogs.